Hey, it's Rebel. Here to present my part of Chordates. So it's chapter 23. This is my project, but with me, Zach, Mariska, and April. So let's get started. An intro into Chordates. A chordate is an animal who belongs to the phylum Chordate, as we can see here. Chordates are durostomes, meaning that their embryo stage, the anus, is formed before the mouth. Chordates possess bilateral symmetry, and in the case of vertebrate chordates, the notochord is replaced with the vertebral column during development, which we'll talk about later. One cool thing about chordates is that we're a part of this phylum. That's why I have skeletons here, along with fish. That's why I have Dory. The structural plan. The name chordata comes from the name notochord. We have rod-like rigid tissues enclosed within a sheath. In most cases, it extends the length of the body line between the gut and the nervous system, and mainly serves to stiffen the body, providing skeletal scaffolding with the attachment of swimming. It's more for fish and us, I guess, if we swim. Chordates share features with some invertebrates: bilateral symmetry, anterior postural axis, column tube within a tube body plan, metamerism, and cephalization. Key characteristics with the chordates is the notochord right here, as we can see with that blue strip in the picture. The hollow dorsal neural cord, which is right here, which is the purplish just above the blue, that line. Phalangeal slits near the front, those slits near the mouth. Endostyle, which is not shown in the picture here, but we'll see later. And a postanal tail. Here's the notochord. As you can see, it's a rigid structure behind the skeleton. Always found at some embryonic stage with chordates. The first part of the endoskeleton to appear in the embryo, muscles attached to it. It can bend and shorten and permits undulation. In protochordates and jawless vertebrates, and it persists throughout life. In vertebrates, it's replaced with the vertebral column. So right here we have the spine. Dorsal tubular nerve cord. In most invertebrate phyla, the nerve cord is solid and ventral to the digestive tract. In chordates, it's a single tubular cord. It's dorsal to the digestive tract. The anterior and enlarges to form the brain, and the cord is produced in embryo by infolding of ectodermal cells on the dorsal side of the body. See here, we got some pictures. Phalangeal pouches and slits. Phalangeal slits lead from the pharyngeal cavity to the outside, formed by impocketing of the ectoderm and the evagination of the endoderm of the pharynx. In aquatic chordates, two pockets break through to form the pharyngeal slit, and in tetrapods, the pouches give rise to a variety of structures, including the estuarine tube, the middle ear cavity, the tonsils, and the peritoneal glands. And here in the picture you see we have different examples of the gill slits and postanal tail for like fishes, reptiles, birds, and humans. Pharyngeal pouches and slits continued. Perforated pharynx functions as filter feeder and apparatus in protochordates. Fishes add a capillary network with thin gas-permeable walls, which leads to the evolution of gills within fishes. Endostyle or thyroid gland. Recently, the endostyle was recognized as a shared chordate characteristic. Endostyle, or it's derived from the thyroid gland, is found in all chordates. Some cells in the endostyle secrete iodinated proteins homologous with the iodinated hormone secreted thyroid gland of the adult lampreys and other vertebrates. Postanal tail. as we discussed earlier in the other picture. The postnasal tail plus musculature provides mobility for larval tunicates and amphibians to swim. Efficiency is increased in fishes, but becomes smaller and vestigial in later lineages. Here's an intro to some subphyla. As we can see, the chordates cover a broad range of animals, and we can see how with each addition to like different organs and functions, we add more animals, and it differentiates. And then intro to the different subphyla. The euchordate, sometimes known as the tunicate, are commonly known as sea squirts. What we have here is a little picture. We'll discuss more later in the slides. The cephalochordate, the characteristics of the cephalochordate are that they are segmented marine animals that possess elongated bodies with a notochord that extends the length of the body, extending from head to tail, persisting throughout the animal's life. This little line right here is actually an animal. And then we go into the vertebrata, or the craniata. Vertebrates contain all species within the subphylum Vertebrata, possess a vertebral column which has replaced the notochord, and sometimes a cranium is involved, which is why the subphylum is sometimes referred to as Craniata. And then here we go with the vertebral column, and we have spines too, so you know we're part of that. And that's the end of my part. I'll just hand it over to the rest of the guys. Good luck. Have a good day up there. Happy Easter, Thank you.